Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today, I think this is an interesting topic. I have a story to share also. And if you have a story you want to share, please visit writemac.com. It's in the live stream notes here. It'll be in the notes below for Show Me More. I don't have a lot of other crap involved, but if you want to go to my website, writemac.com, WRITMAC.com, go ahead and send your story, and I could give you my take in a live stream just like this. And I will be sharing a story from someone that sent in their story yesterday. Also, I do have an Instagram account, Coach Mac McCarthy, if you want to go check that out with some photos and some updates and some quotes and stuff like that. Also, if you like this video, throw me a like. If you don't like this video, don't like it, actually. That's actually a good thing. That means you have an opinion. Put in the comments down below, why won't my ex forgive me? Give me your take on this. Have you had a situation where your ex won't forgive you, or where you just can't get over your ex and you don't understand why they don't think sorry's enough? If that's the case, let me know what it's about and we can talk about it. Otherwise, if you really like this channel, you like this live stream, hit the bell after you subscribe and you'll be updated each time. And I do live streams pretty much every day, if not every other day. So if you like the live stream format, this is the channel for you. So let's get into it. This is an interesting topic. I didn't write a bunch of notes about it, but I thought it would pertain to the person that wrote the story today, and I thought I'd unpack it with you. Roller Girl, welcome. Great name. Hope you're doing well. Why won't my ex forgive me? Well, first of all, what happens, right? So sometimes people send me in through my website. There's a place to send your story in, and there's some instructions and there's some ideas of how you would write a story. What I would say about a story has a beginning, middle, and end that kind of has some kind of sequence to it. So I tell people, tell me how old you are and how long you've been together. That's a good way to start. There's people that honestly send in stuff like this. And it's one of those things. It's why you're not it's why you're not recovering from your breakup when you look at things like this. Okay, someone send me their name, their email, and they said, I just want to know if it's going to be possible for me and my ex to come back either soon or in the future. I still love her and I want to try again, but I just need help reigniting the flame again if it's possible. So someone sent me that. What the fuck do I do with that? So do you think I can get my ex back? Should I use no contact? Just these broad questions. So if you go, and this is what a lot of people do, they Google or they YouTube how to get my ex back. Does no contact work? Right. And then they'll ask me these broad general questions. I don't know if anything will work or not work until I know your story. No problem, Jen. All good, hun. I do not know until I know your story and until I know some details of what went down. Sometimes no contact's not the answer. Sometimes, are you really chasing a relationship that you shouldn't be chasing? These broad general questions, sometimes I'm just like, what do you think? I'm a psychic that I can just get a one sentence question? And it comes through a lot. And I think people think, well, that what you're doing too is you're like, well, let me just try that. It's actually lazy solution finding. Does that make sense? It's like you're like, oh, I just want to ask the question. I don't want to have to write the story. That tells me something about someone. Sometimes they say this to me. Oh, well, I'm not very good at writing, or it takes a long time. It says something about your character and who you are, and you probably have issues resolving problems when the solution takes a little bit of work, right? Or the thing about you telling a story, if you're going to tell it correctly, some of the story in a breakup, usually you feel bad. There might be some shame. There might be some guilt. You might have done a couple of things wrong. You might be feeling too guilty. Bottom line is your interpretation is the core. It's the heartbeat of the breakup. And so when someone just goes, why won't my ex forgive me? Because I've had people say this. Okay, so let's just unpack that question as a general question, because I wrote in the post earlier today that, hey, there is a reason. There's a reason why they won't forgive you. And I'm going to tell you right now, it has to do with their morals and values. Oh, well, that seems kind of broad. Well, I don't know your exes or your partners or your husband or your wife or your colleague, whoever you want to call it. I don't know their morals and values. That's why I need to know their story. But each individual forgives for different reasons. And the biggest holy grail of problems people have in breakups is they go, I would forgive them. So what? Just because you believe you would forgive them in the same situation and be understanding because you're on the other end of it doesn't mean they have to forgive you. Forgiveness is not something that someone has to do. Someone has a right as an individual if their morals and values are impeded in a way that they are offended, upset, or disgusted to say, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm not going to forgive you. Well, I apologize. Well, apologies are a choice and how they are received. People aren't exactly, oh, I apologize. Well, I don't want to accept your apology. It's not good enough. It's not going to work. Well, I can't take back time. No, you can't. So I'm not going to forgive you. I mean, people have a right to not accept an apology. And what goes into an apology? Number one, how long did it take you to apologize? Number two, are you sincere? Number three, apologizing multiple times is annoying as fuck. Okay. Because that's a big one. So even if someone, they don't fully accept your apology, but they understand and they just need a process. It's like, yeah, this has really upset me. They might not tell you that, but they just need process. They need time. They need to figure it out. They need to accept it. If you continuously contact them and say sorry, what you're creating is this idea that they feel bad for you. Because when I'm saying sorry to someone, I'm saying I did you wrong. I feel bad for you because I hurt you. Now, for me, if you say it to me once or twice, if you continue to do it, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm okay now. I don't need another sorry. I know what happened. I told you I understood. I don't need repeated sorries because now you're making it feel like I'm crying by the window every night. And some people are like, believe me, I'm okay. I'm all right. Can we just move on from, well, I just really want to say sorry to you because I did you wrong and it's not fair to you. It's like, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm not over it. I'm not necessarily excited about it, but I don't want to be addressing you telling me I'm sorry. I don't like the fact that you feel sorry for me. So that's a big one too. The idea that you continuously apologize and say sorry or bring up the past is holding you back from moving forward, right? Now, what you have to say is someone clear on why you're not being forgiven? Are they really clear on the fact that some people have certain standards, certain expectations, certain rules and regulations that they play in their life where they go, hey, you cross this line, dust. That's actually respectable. It's actually respectable. Now, time heals everything. Now, some people say forgive and forget. I believe most people don't forget. Okay. I'm someone that has an extremely good memory and I don't forget. That being said, I can forgive you, but I'm probably never going to forget it. It's always going to be on my mind as part of your character if you did something extremely low character. Okay. Now, if someone steps up immediately and they do something out of character and they apologize for it sincerely, on point, then that's the best way to do it. My ex had rules to be at the beginning. I agreed. My ex had rules to be at the beginning. What do you mean by that, Jennifer? Welcome. I haven't seen you on the show before. Jennifer, me? Okay, we got 7 on deck, 2 likes. 1 like got taken away, maybe. Thanks for that. Todd Whitmore, what's up, TW? They already know you're sorry. No need to jackhammer it into play. Accept it and save your self-worth. Thank you so much for saying that, Todd. I agree with you, bud. And really what it does when you keep apologizing, it exhausts the other person because they're kind of like, how am I going to get over this? When you feeling guilty makes me less attractive because I'm like, can we just get to the next part and hang out? Right? So I got a story that came in yesterday from an individual that was actually on the live stream asking broad questions. And I said, hey, look, send in your story. Give me as much details as possible, and I'll read it on the live stream today. So that's what I'm doing. And if you got a story out there and you want to share it, get into rightmac.com. Lala, what's up, hon? How you doing? 9 on deck. I liked that you liked. Thanks, Roller Girl. I appreciate you. Okay, I wrote this on April 23rd. Hello. Please, I want to tell you about my relationship situation. I will not say much, just a few stuff about it first. 2 months ago, I did a mistake. I was angry and I've insulted my girlfriend and told her cruel stuff about her personality. So, right off the bat, I don't know what the insult is, and I don't know what cruel means to you. If you know that you insulted him, now we would agree that there's different degrees of insults, right? You know, I can insult Azam and he go, fuck, I can't believe Max said that. Or Lala, wow, you said that? But you could let it go. In other words, you're like, wow, this is how you look at things, or this or that. And then there's like another degree of insult where you're like, I'm done. Then there's another level of insult where there was someone that used to come on the live stream quite a bit. And something I talked about, I could tell insulted him. It was something about cancer or something like that. And he had a directly different viewpoint. He's never been back on the channel. He got off right away. And so was that my intention? Did I think it was insulting? No. But my point is there's different degrees of insults in different cultures also, because different words carry different weight, right? So when you just say, yeah, I said some cruel stuff and I insulted her, it would be best that I knew the specifics of it about her personality. She got mad and she blocked me from all social media. I tried like more than 20 times to reach out by multiple accounts. So right when you tell me that you did 20 times to reach out by multiple accounts, that tells me that you're not just desperate, needy, you're not listening. Okay. And that is highly unattractive. That is actually relationship repellent. It's like you're not listening to me. You insulted me. You upset me. I'm not going to forgive you because you said sorry or called me again and again. 20 times to reach out by multiple accounts. She always did block me. Sometimes she didn't until I pushed her to talk to me. If you are pushing your ex to talk to you, that is a bad thing. That is not good. And some people think, oh, well, they did give in and talk to me. It's still not a good thing. And she like rage out and block me. You obviously are not getting the message. I did before. I've heard of you almost 2 weeks and I couldn't keep because I wonder if I did a mistake. I should just not pretend I don't care about her. Well, the idea, this is a classic case where you're overcompensating for something you did wrong. So somehow, because you're not getting, it's not receptive, you're going to try harder. And that's exactly the wrong thing to do. I got afraid of that. She will forget about me. An individual that you insulted won't forget about you. They'll just remember you for bad reasons. And I will not love her again, but I really do love her. I've seen in one of your videos that if she let a window open, that she might want to talk to you, but I know why she don't till now. It's almost a month and that window is open, although I keep texting her if she's okay. It doesn't sound like the window's open to me if you're contacting her 20 times and she's not receptive. I think that you are using confirmation bias and you're creating a situation that's not true. I did last time when she didn't block me first. I started if someone blocks you repeatedly, that means they're not receptive. That doesn't mean there's a window open. To ask if she's okay, I got tired of doing that. She didn't answer until I did piss her off and she raged out and blocked me. Now I do the same thing, just asking her about how she is, and I didn't since last week. I did contact 2 times, first time 2 weeks, and second time also 2 weeks. I just got afraid of losing her. So here's the problem. This is going to be interesting to whoever is on right now and whoever the individual that wrote this. You think you're doing this for your ex, like, oh, I'm apologizing for my ex. Oh, I love her so much. All of this is selfish behavior because you're absolutely not listening to the fact that you insulted her and she's not forgiving of it. But yet you're still contacting an individual over and over again that's blocking you. It's selfish. Another thing, the reason why I stick to this girl is because she was good for me. Again, she was good for you. Are you good for her if you're insulting her? I was good too. We had a lot of time for almost a year and a half, and we didn't fight a lot, minimum like a few fights. I would have to know what you said that insulted her. I would like to know if it's possible that she will come back, or should I contact her after a few months? At this point, no, based on you contacting her 20 times. Or still reach out while the breakup. I remember she said something like, maybe I will forgive you. If she's going to forgive you, it'll be on her own time in her own way, and she'll reach out to you. And the only way she's going to have time to process that is you to stop contacting her, period. Somehow I don't remember the complete sentence. She also said, I will never forgive you. I'm sorry, my English is not good because it's not my first, second language. I'm from Morocco. I forgot to say I'm 20 and she's 18. A lot of this has to do with your age. It's very immature how you're handling it. Bottom line is going to straight no contact, and you need to realize that all you're doing, people think, oh, I'm asking for forgiveness. It's all you. The people that are in deep depression or anxiety, a lot of times, you know what I got news for a lot of people. A lot of it is an obsession with your own results. A lot of it's this idea that I didn't get what I wanted. People are treating me wrong. I. The biggest realization about being happier, and the thing is, when people chase happiness or anything like this, it's like happiness is fleeting, right? Like no one's happy all the time. That's not real reality. And the only way you can really feel happiness is to feel sadness sometimes. You need the polar opposites. Okay? True happiness is contribution to something you believe in, significance or importance, and stuff that you produce or do. And this idea that like, I need this person, we were so good together, I'm sorry. This is selfish behavior. It's obsessive and it's ugly. The idea that you can walk away and go, I insulted her, I said sorry, and you know what? We had a really good thing. And if this is what's going to cost us the relationship, I can deal with that. I can hold my head up high because I got other things in my life to be proud of. But trying to get someone to see things the way you see things because you're missing them is selfish. Okay, let me get into the lives. We got 15 on deck. Right the fuck on. Okay, we got ourselves a spirited one. Yesterday I came on a little later, and we only had 8 or 9 on deck, and it just dragged. And usually I can make it go, but okay. Tommy Willis, always a pleasure, dude. Albert Hughesley, were you on before, Albert? My ex was easily offended about everything and considered mild disagreements as fighting. Well, here's the thing. Would it be easier to possibly put yourself back out there as a free agent and see if there's other partners out there that don't share this? Because at a certain point, if I've dealt with this before. I call it petty. When you're like, this is petty. Like, we're arguing over this shit right now. And there's some individuals out there that the shit that they get upset about and you think is nothing, you got to agree to disagree and move on because life's too short. What's up, Leslie? Azam, Rob? You are telling her, hey, I'm a backup. She needs to feel the loss. Easily offended sometimes means that the girlfriend has subconsciously identified the boyfriend as beta male through his actions and is repulsed by him, so finds issues with many inconsequential things. Could be. Rob's correct. Could be. Or the individual just values, for example, one that comes up a lot, Rob, is someone that's really clean or tidy or anal about cleaning the kitchen, things like that. And another individual is a bit loose about that and messy. That's one of those things that was developed from childhood. A lot of times, if your parents were really strict about cleaning your room and cleaning the bathrooms, it carries over to adulthood, and they literally feel like, I can't believe you're not like this. And so that's not necessarily a beta masculine thing. That's a morals and values and principles thing that can really mess with a relationship, because someone's like, oh yeah, I forgot I left the candy wrapper on the table, or this or that. I've come across this before. And then they're like, and then she gets so angry about it. Well, if you think it's something that you can't meet them halfway on, then it's not going to work. Actually, if he's just laid back after the insult, apologize when she comes back, if it would have resolved the situation, maybe I will forgive you. Todd Whitmer, you're mad because she's not conforming to what you want, just being honest, and you need to learn rejection. Bottom line is, like I said, if you did something wrong, if you insulted someone in a relationship, if you were cruel, you apologize and they don't accept it, back the fuck off. Let them process, because you're just pouring gasoline on the fire by pushing for them to get back to normal because you want it. It actually makes the situation 10 times worse. You can't make someone love you. That's an understatement. 20 is a good age to learn all this stuff. Absolutely, Tommy. I just actually had a client. He's 20 or 21. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this is really good that you reached out, bud. And we just had about an hour and 45-minute coaching session. And, at the end of it, it was kind of funny. These days, sometimes I'll be like, did you talk to someone else too? And he's like, well, yeah, I did. And I'm like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, was this a better situation? He goes, yeah, the other coach or whatever he talked to didn't have your experience or this or that. And I'm like, you're in a solution base right now. This is a good thing. You're looking for answers. You're trying to work on things. Dude, you need to go on the offensive. Tell her, listen, I apologize for the insult, but it seems like you don't value my effort. I don't need your forgiveness anymore. Good luck. That is offense. But he began to have outbursts of anger. I began to set boundaries. I would not put up with that type of behavior and excuse him from any presence, ask him to go home when he acted out. Well, good for you. Boundaries and expectations are applied to the relationship rather than just accepted. You need to be honest about it. I basically would assume we are broken up when I would send home after his verbal abuse. He then said that he had hired a PI. Well, this gets even thicker. When your girlfriend says he's just a friend, that's one of those situation, Alberts, with a great Biz Marquee. You say he's just a friend. You need to understand the type of personality that your partner is. And the one thing I notice about quote unquote guy friends, some people call them orbiters. There are guys that could be your friends. Usually they're colleagues. Like you have some other reason to be friends with them. I think Jen, that's on this live stream quite a bit, she's on today. She said she has 2 guy friends that are colleagues, that they work together and they're friends. So I think it's capable of doing that if you have common ground. But when you're around the guy or you witness what he does, you can kind of pick up right away. Yeah, he likes you. Laugh all. They're all just friends until you are not her boyfriend. What's up, Double D? Women will test until the day you die. SMS Productions, long time no see. How you doing? Yes, we are friends. Yeah, I'm saying like they're guy friends, they're men, they're actually in relationships and you're friendly, right, Jen? So I'm sure these guys that you work with, Jen, they're married or they have relationships and you're a friend. And being that you're a colleague, I think gives you more of a common ground too. He also read my personal journal, which was on my computer. I let him use my computer at home to look online, not to search my documents. Jennifer, it sounds like this relationship's just a bad one. I visited an ex for 30 minutes and he said his PI told him about the visit, but we were broken up. Now he keeps that against me. Oh, this is ridiculous. I'll tell you what, if someone got a PI on me, we're dust. It's curtains. We're done. Because trust, connection, attraction. You can make attraction intimacy. You can make trust chemistry. You can make it anything. Let's just say trust, connect. Like if you don't have trust and you're at a negative, if you get a PI, that means you don't just, if someone goes to the point to get a PI, number one, they don't trust you. Number two, they want to be right. They want to find something because they're paying that fucking PI. They want to find something. They're looking for stuff. Okay. That's dangerous. And the fact that they don't trust you that much, want to find something to hold against you when you're broken up is ridiculous. Move on, move forward. and say, c'est la vie. Maybe catch you in the next life when we're both cats. They are married and we are truly just friends. Exactly, Jen. Like I said, you can be friend. I think you can be friends with opposite sex colleagues. What do you guys think of a woman that consult her guy friends about her relationship? Depends on how many guy friends. Is she promiscuous? Is she being flirtatious? A lot of women consult gay guy friends. I've heard of a lot of times, which I don't have a problem with it. Do they respect that friend? If you're consulting a friend about a relationship issue, this is my advice for any kind of friend advice, guy or a woman. Make sure that you respect them as an individual and their own body of work in their life. Make sure that you respect how they handle their relationships. Because if you go to someone that is someone that you look at in their own life low, or someone that you look at that's a basket case, or someone that you look at that never has a very good relationship, why would you get advice from them? It's like you wouldn't go, if you wanted to invest your money, you wouldn't go to someone that's broke. You wouldn't go to someone that has made bad investments. And you do the same thing when you get relationship advice. Go to someone you're like, wow, Todd's got a really good relationship with his girlfriend or his wife. Maybe I should ask his opinion. What do you guys think? It's officially my birthday. Well, Ashley Walker, AW, happy birthday. Asked my ex if he wanted to hang out one day and reminded him it was my birthday today, and he ignored me. Well, I'll tell you what, happy birthday, and give you a big bag of clarity. So you just went on a discovery mission. You thought my birthday's a special day. Maybe this will entice him, and it didn't. So what do you know now? I'm done. It's curtains. Move forward. Move on. There's clarity in that. And you got on a live stream. We got 19 on deck. It's spirited. It's good. And so we're going to support you. And we're all wishing you a happy birthday. He says he has a lot to lose for nothing money-wise. Okay. A lot of this, Jennifer, okay, he wants this. He did this. He did that. What do you want? How old are you, Jennifer, if I may ask? Anyone that gets you a PI, it's dust. I'm sorry. I'm dust. It's curtains. Done. You got a PI to chase me around? Get the fuck out of here. No. I don't care what. Oh, I found this, and that. Well, you know what? Fucking frame it. Frame the photo you got of me talking to another woman or doing something wrong. Frame it, because that's the last sight you'll see of me. And if you continue fucking with a PI on me, I'll fucking get a police report on him. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, if you're in a marriage and you have assets together and you're looking at if you got a divorce, dividing up assets and stuff like that, maybe you get a PI then. Otherwise, no, because you're going to be in court and you're going on offense. That I might understand. A woman who asks her male friend for their perspective is a smart woman. Like, as long as you respect the male friend, I probably have 50-50 on male and female clients. I mean, from month to month, it could be 60-40. And women always say, it's really nice getting a male's perspective. Again, get a male's perspective that you respect their body of work in their own relationship. Do you think social media ruins relationships? Not all, but it can. Fuck yeah, it can. That's a broad statement that doesn't apply to everyone. But I would say overall, it hurts a lot of them. It depends, Albert, on how much an individual values what they get from social media. And then who are you entangled with on social media? Is there a bunch of people gaslighting, sending out stuff? This goes back to, well, her friend from high school or college who's, brokenhearted and been cheated on 3 times, always posts bad stuff about us. Well, yeah, of course, because her friend doesn't want you guys to succeed. Social media, where's your power in the situation is just to stop doing social media. Is it worth going back to a relationship after it's ended? Why try to make it work? It depends on the situation. Every wrong thing will eventually come back to the light. I've told you this before, Todd, or maybe not you, Todd, but other people before. I mean, if it's a clear-cut problem with a clear-cut fix, such as alcohol or drug addiction, if that's the problem and the person works on it, then yeah, you can get back together, because the the core problem is very specific. If the problem is someone's not holding their weight as far as paying the bills and they get a new job and they're able to clean up that way, I don't know. But if the problem that's been identified is able to be fixed, fine. The idea that someone's just going to continue to be the same problem is not true of everyone. He had her PI. That's bold of him. What's a PI? Private investigator. What's up, Salma? Um, Balzar, bizarre. Is that a Persian name? Thank you, coach. To be clear, those guy friends don't want to be your friend. There you go. 66. Wow, Jennifer. And you got someone's sending a private eye around on you, hun. You don't need to deal with that shit. Thanks. Yes, that's exactly what I thought. You're right. Appreciate all of you. Well, I appreciate you too, Ashley. Keep it moving. What are you going to do for your birthday, hun? So my ex is having one of her friends to hit me up to let me know about her well-being and shit. And we haven't spoken in 6 months. Shma. Why would your ex? It's one thing if your ex asked about you. It's another thing if they're like, "Yeah, tell him I'm doing fine," as if you asked. I don't get it. Once you're hire a PI, all trust is gone. That's an understatement, dude. I asked him and he could not come up with anything. I would say, yeah, get a PI. Careful what you wish for. Well, I just had to know. Well, this and that. Well, you know what? Fucking frame, like I said, frame the fucking photo that you had from the PI with the pictures they took of me. If you have a private investigator to find out what I'm doing, you're hard up with no life. Well, I mean, if like I said, the only case that I could say that that would be valid is if you're in a marriage of 15, 20 years, you got assets, you got to share a 401k and someone's cheating and they're lying about it. There's a guy I know, he didn't use a private investigator, but he used a recording advice in a woman's in his wife's purse and found, basically the conversation that was had is pretty telling. And he's dealing with a divorce where he's going to have to lose a lot of money. Okay, okay, that's fine. But, to prove some bullshit, no. I wonder if it's even true that the guy got a PI. Who does that? Oh, there's people that do it. Plenty of people do that. He's dumb. Let it go. I think so. I'm Mexican. Okay. What's that movie? Fools Rush In? Is her name Salma Hayek? I like that movie, Fools Rush In. I haven't seen that in a long time. It's kind of a cheesy movie, but I've never dealt with anyone like this before. Well, you know what? Don't continue. Fool me once, fool me twice, don't fool me 3 times. I told him I hired a PI for him. Yeah, well, 2 wrongs don't make a right, Jennifer. Don't get dragged in the snake pit, hon. You both get bit. Henry inspires. My girlfriend broke up with me. Well, inspire me, Henry. Broke up with me, not directly. Her thing's still in my place, but haven't spoken for 3 months. Well, it's pretty direct if you haven't spoken in 3 months. Liked my 2 posts 2 weeks ago. A mutual friend asked her about me. She just smiled. What the fuck? Is that direct or not direct? What's indirect? Never told directly she doesn't want any more 8 years relationship. That sounds like that's an individual that's not responsible or accountable for many things. It's like her things are still at my place. Haven't spoken in 3 months. Liked my post 2 weeks ago. Well, ask her, hey, what's your address so I can send you her things or they're going to the Salvation Army. Be done with it. As long as you have her things in your house, you're going to be thinking in your head, oh, well, one day she'll come around. Like it's an open loop in your head. I've talked to people about this before. Well, what do I do with her things? Donate them. Get them the hell out of your house. She had her hit me up to let me know she got out of jail. Well, I don't know if there's a Hallmark card for you just got out of jail or what, but I'm sure you're happy for her. I mean, that's a big day. I've never dealt with that in my own life and don't look forward to it, but I'm sure she was ecstatic. You always know if something is up, you feel it. I remember that story. I'm having a birthday dinner at a nice restaurant tomorrow, then partying and boating the whole weekend, skydiving again on Monday. Well, good for you. Good for you. That sounds eventful, exciting. How old are you turning, Ashley Walker, and where do you live in the world? I'm just curious, hon. Because that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of partying. And that sounds like COVID's died down where you live. Good for you. Skydiving. Henry, where are you at with this relationship? Do you want this individual back? Are you dating? Does the dumper hurt just as much as the dumpy? Depends on the situation. I'd highly recommend, Albert, if you haven't done it, just to send your full story into writemac.com. But it's individually based. Okay. So it depends on what happened. But I would say no one in any relationship is usually directly equal at any given moment. There's always this kind of teeter-totter in a relationship. Um, so what I mean by that, Albert, is there's going to be moments where that individual misses you because they saw a movie or because they went by an ice cream shop that you guys used to go to, or their mom calls them up and goes, "Hey, how's Albert doing?" So there's a variety of things that will trigger them remembering about you, but it really depends on what happened, who was done wrong, and how done wrong were they. Aloha, Keisha Shaw. I hope you're well, hon. You must be busy. You're a nurse, right? Has this COVID thing? I don't want to get into COVID and all the other things. I just want to know you're okay, and has it been affecting you out at your job? Because I know are you in Atlanta but originally from New York? Am I correct? I actually don't know anyone who's ever hired a PI. I agree, coach. But we had nothing tangled with money. He just tried to state that he had too much to lose. He tried to get me to give him all of my assets. I never agreed to it. Fuck that. I've noticed that you're 66. I'm not sure how old this guy is, but a lot of men, when they're older, if they've been snake bitten and divorced 2 or 3 times, they are really defensive in new relationships about their money and their assets. And that's why if you look back at a past live stream I had suggested that there's something called a 4-year sex contract where you could make some kind of agreement on assets and different things because people need an alternative to marriage, I think. Ashley's 33. That's a great age, hon. Detroit, Michigan. It sounds like you guys are doing well out there. If you're able to go on a boat ride and do those kinds of things. I've never been to Detroit. I've always liked the Pistons, though. But I'm a Warriors fan, but I've always respected the Pistons. But 33, good age, hon. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Frankie. I hope everything is well. I think my ex is a narcissist. Don't know if you remember me. Well, if your ex is a narcissist or not a narcissist, it doesn't really matter. Once you're broken up, if anything, be glad you're no longer with a narcissist. Sometimes it makes them feel better to label their ex something negative, which is fine. But that being said, in your particular situation, it's time to move forward, move on, and stick in no contact, right? I don't remember the specifics, but I could pull it up on my email. My state is doing amazing, but COVID is still alive and well. I'm actually a nurse in the ER and have been on the front lines the whole time. Well, here, I'll give you a Y from Thailand and say, we appreciate you, hun. I don't know the logistics or I don't know what you've been dealing with, but the fact that you're a nurse in the ER alone gets my respect. Alone gets my respect. I don't know why, but I do have a lot of coaching clients that are nurses, and I take it as a compliment being a teacher. Any job, I've always said this, that you can do something where you directly help people. And I think a nurse or a doctor is that at the highest level, I hope, gets my respect 10 times over, hon. So thank you for doing what you do, and I hope it serves you also because helping people should be helping you. We had a date Saturday, and wanted to go Dutch. No problem. I said that I need to charge him for my driving time. Every joke's half true. Still no contact. I'm good. Been feeling down, but I'm maintaining. Living in Maryland now, and yes, from New York. That's right. Okay. Maryland. Why are you feeling down? Is it okay to ask for forgiveness knowing you'll never have a relationship, or should you just walk away and accept the loss and learn from the mistakes? Well, Todd, if it's something that's eating at you and you never properly apologized, I don't know your situation directly, then maybe if you haven't apologized and you just want to get that clearly on the table, then go for it. My ex reached out after 8 months, no contact. Thank you for your videos. Definitely don't want him back. I'm not responding. The right people know your worth the first time around. Helen, that's the gospel, hon. Well, thank you for saying thank you about the videos. And It's exactly what I said. If you go into no contact and they come back, it's just a bonus. And then the best position to be in is like, do I even want this back? And then if you say, no, I'm doing just fine, that's also very empowering. It's vindication. So I'm happy for you, Helen. And I'm happy the videos helped. Thank you, brother. God bless. And the folks here. No problem, Frankie. Ashley says, thanks. I say thank you. What's the blue and red pill talk? I don't get into blue and red pill talk. Maybe you want to talk to Azam about that. I'm not against it. I just don't identify with using that language. Yes, as a nurse, we see a lot that hits you emotionally differently. Thanks for asking. So you're okay with that part of your life? You're down about nursing, or you're down about something else? Okay, so Rob, can I talk about that with you, Albert? Again, I'm not against it. I don't identify with the red pill, blue pill, and clarifying those things. I don't research it as much. Well, there you go. Rob says you want to make sure you're red pill. That's interesting that it was 8 months. I have heard the guy from the love chat say that 8 months is in his research and his time, that 8 months would be the time. After 8 months, you could call it in. I don't know. I mean, the best place to be at is once you're at 8 months, you just don't care anymore, right? I have to say that my ex is a narc. I realize that this is the most difficult relationship to get over. It really is, even though I'm 66 and he is 65. So bizarre at this time of my life. Well, the number one thing you got to do with a narcissist is just remove yourself from their entanglement, because they are highly manipulative. They will make themselves the hero and you the bad guy again and again. And so just being in their presence, texting back and forth, you're putting yourself in a bad position. So if you truly believe them to be that person, the best thing you can do is remove your attention completely. It is a matrix analogy, blue pill being plugged in, buying into BS of the feminine imperative. Okay. He says he is not MGTOW. Wow, at 66, you asked him that question? That's kind of funny. Soul cutter. Aren't most ex-narcs? Everyone seems to think this. There's a really good piece on Psychology in Seattle, which is a YouTube channel that I think is pretty good. Psychology in Seattle, and he does a bunch of stuff on narcissism, and I don't know if he's a psychiatrist or a registered therapist. I really like his podcast and work. He does some great things talking about narcissists. But Soul Cutter, you're absolutely correct. There's a lot of people that identify their exes as narcissistic. I think part of it is, I think a lot of human beings have narcissistic tendencies. And one of the things that Psychology in Seattle broke down, that you could be 10%, you could be 20% narcissistic. People in the 80 percentile are people that are highly, highly manipulative, selfish creatures that you just don't even want to entangle with. I think what happens is when someone breaks up with you, you find their actions to be very selfish because they hurt you and they didn't think of you first. And so that falls into line with a lot of narcissistic characteristics. If you feel like, oh no, that's not true, like I said, the best thing you can do is break up with that individual and get out of their web. Down about work, down about me reaching out to my ex and he not responding like I want, down about everything going on in this country, but I'm pulling myself back in. I will be fine. Keisha, it's tough, hon. It is tough, but life goes on. Keep showing up for your job, because that's your core, right? That's your heart right there. And do the best you can as an individual. I think there's a lot of generalizations going around in breakup world, in society overall. And I think that if I could make one recommendation, I would say that as individuals, I would encourage people to do the domino effect. Do one good thing for one person. Be the person you want other people to be, and do the best you can in your own life. Because I think people drive themselves nuts by pointing out that their ex was this or their ex was that. And the reality is, it's time to move forward and be a better you, and to affect and encourage other people around you the best you can. You know what I would say, Keisha? I don't know where you're on YouTube right now. Take a break from the media for a couple days and just go for some walks, because I think we can get swamped by media or social media, and just take a 4 or 5 day break and just listen to music and go for a walk, hun. See if that helps you for a day. Go on a social media and news fast if you can. Seriously. Um, I'm going through narc Billy too. I don't know what that is. Frankie, walk away from the narc. I feel you 100% going through the same thing. It's like they don't have a soul. Mine was very manipulative. Watch your ex actions after a breakup. You'll know. Oh, he says he's MGTOW. Okay. Well, that's men who go their own way. So he's basically saying that he's never going to be in a serious relationship with you, correct? The key thing is you have to be open to accepting the truth, or at least hearing it, even if it may not be the way you're thinking you were previously aligned with. Oh, my ex acted like was the biggest piece of shit, but she left for me, someone she knew, for barely a month. That's on her, dude. That's on her. Thanks, coach. Glad to catch you. Got a bit of a copperhead last night, and I'm resting up. Love catching up with you guys. Everyone stay safe and positive till next time. Right on, TW. I don't know what copperhead means. I guess that may be a hangover. I don't know. I say she's a narc because she doesn't take accountability for her actions. Well, I mean, that would be a minor characteristic of a narcissistic person. There's a lot of people that don't take accountability. And that's a sign of real maturity. It's a real sign of maturity. I don't like labeling exes. It always comes as whiny and makes you look bad. I think you can do it, but don't don't get hung up on it, and don't be telling everyone and every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you know about it, because it doesn't reflect well on you. It makes you look bitter. And the fact that you're broken up, you're better off if you've identified them as a narcissist or a cheater or a bad person. When it looks really bad is you said all these bad things and then you get back together. Skinner, what's up, buddy? Chi-Town's finest. Thanks, coach. You're right, Keisha. Try it, hun. See if that helps you. Just take a break from social media and take a break from the news for a couple of days. Just completely and go on some walks and go outside and listen to some good music. Just take a break. The world is so bizarre. I just got caught off guard. Copperhead is snake. Thank you. Good night. Copperhead a snake, I think. Oh, I got bit by a copperhead last night. Jesus. Aren't you in the UK? This sounds so ignorant. Is there a lot of snakes in the UK? Laying low and being indifferent, nothing protects your dignity like actions post breakup. That's true. $22 on deck, 10 likes. I just want to let everyone know, if you do have a question about your breakup, your relationship, drop it now. 48-minute mark. If you like this live stream or you're enjoying it now, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell, because I will be doing them daily or every other day. I do have an Instagram that's active right now. So if you guys are IG people, Coach Mac McCarthy, I have someone helping me out with that with posts. They are my pictures, my quotes, my ideas. But someone that's helping me out with the scheduling of those things is going to help out a lot. So if you want to join, it's just Coach Mac McCarthy at IG. And she told me today, she's like, make sure you're shouting that out. If you want to book a live coaching session, or you'd like to unpack your breakup a little deeper, go to rightmac.com, send it in, we can get it going. Otherwise, let me see if I got another story for you guys here. Soul Coda, best coach around. Well, that's appreciated. I'll take that 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, Soul Coda. I appreciate it. You wrote a really good review, I think, after one of my live streams. Thanks, bud. It sucks. I want to break the no contact rule, but I shall not. Just want to ask her how she's doing. But you just said she's a narcissistic person. I think that's the worst thing you can do to break a no contact, to be honest. Don't you guys agree? You're in no contact. Frank, I apologize. I don't remember the exact specifics of yours, but I do know I think you're in New York also, right? New York or New Jersey? Like breaking no contact to go, hey, how's it going? But the other thing that people do is they go, Chicago? Oh shit, I'm wrong. Skinner, you got a buddy on here. Brand new Skinner's from Chi-Town. I know Chicago's in Illinois. Thanks. Yeah, dude, like I just want to know how you're doing. But the other thing people do is like, hey, I left my shoes at your house or something like that. It's like, those are the ones where you're like, oh my goodness. If you're in no contact and you had a pretty good relationship, they're missing you and wondering when you're going to reach out to. No, don't wait. Move forward, Frankie. Make sure you're doing stuff in your own life that has nothing to do with waiting on this individual. Stay strong is right. Lala's got it correct. I think what it is that no action feels like you're not going to get a result. Today she blocked me on IG. I don't know why. Thank you. Get the hell off all social media and so you don't feel like you were blocked. Get on offense and go, you know what? I don't want to be involved with any of her social media because it just hurts me. That's her saying, I don't want you to see what I'm doing, basically. I went 2 months. She contacted me. The thing about no contact, it's like even if they do contact, doesn't mean you get back together, right? That's the other part. So you got to get moving. You got to get moving with your own life. And if you need to lick your wounds for a couple months or a month, because if you were together 4, 5, 6 years, it's like a withdrawals, right? It's like an alcoholic with withdrawals. Like for 3 weeks or a month, it's going to be hard. She got on Tinder after the breakup. Victor, what do you want to say? What's up, Tommy? She got on Tinder after the breakup. And see, this is one of those things like we broke up. I can't believe she got on Tinder afterwards. How do you even know? How do you even know? You're broken up. It's like it's sour grapes. It's bitterness. Or you can so let's look at this in a few ways, Victor, and this isn't picking on you. You break up, you find out your ex is on Tinder. First of all, how did you find out they're on Tinder? Because you were on Tinder also. I've had people tell me, well, I was on Tinder and then I found them. The worst one I've ever seen, this guy, well, not the worst, but one of the ones that like basically was clarity. He not only saw his ex on Tinder, but she also said, I'm looking for a big daddy or something. I mean, what she wrote was just like, fuck. And he wrote me like, I'm done. So I'm saying like, once you see them on Tinder and whatever message they're putting on, isn't that your clarity to say like, well, they're putting themselves back out there. They're moving forward. And if they hooked up with someone random on Tinder, do I even want to deal with that? Even if we did get back together? She tried friending me, whatever you call it. That's what I mean. It's like someone will say, this is what's crazy. This is one of the number one questions I get in live coaching sessions. We unpack things, we go through things. I'll ask you if it's been helpful and productive. Every time people say yes, we have a really good talk. And then people go, hey, wait, one more question. You think she'll come back? You think he'll come back? And I'll be like, look, there's no certainty in this. I don't know. But the reality is a lot of times people think, oh, they came back. They just put their head in the door. Even when they contact you back, doesn't mean you're back together 100% where you were at a 2-year, 3-year relationship. There's still got to be some work done. So this idea of like them contacting you, meaning that you're back, no, that's not what it means. If you wanted to ask me, people go, well, what do you think the percentage is? I don't know. That there's 7 billion people in the world and everyone has relationships. Right? Everyone has relationships. So if someone said, oh, well, there's this Harvard study of 1,000 couples, and that's fucking horseshit. That's like whatever group that they ask questions to, it's going to vary based on the environment and the age group. But the idea that, oh, like all exes come back. I've heard people say this. If you go no contact, they all come back. That's not true. And what's coming back? The fact that they called you up and said, like, oh, I've been thinking of you. That's not coming back. That's checking in. She got on Tinder after a relationship. You in the relationship, we had meant 0 for me. If she went on Tinder, she likely went on Tinder multiple times and met numerous guys. And I'll tell you this, if you met your girlfriend or boyfriend on Tinder, your husband or wife, usually, okay, when you break up, that's the first place they go, because they identify it as a place of finding a partner. And when there's a void, that had worked out for them. They actually don't look at Tinder or a dating app negatively. They're like, oh, I found a really good partner before. I could probably find another one. So it's very common if someone feels like they had success before to use it again. Even when I make out with another girl, I feel like it's not helping me move on from my ex. Well, how many years were you together? Hooking up with some other chick doesn't necessarily help you move on, but hopefully it gives you a moment where you feel good. Hopefully it gives you a moment where you feel like at least dating is a discovery mission. There's no guarantee or certainty. So you going out, like, you could be making out with a woman and it could be a bad kiss, right? And you could be thinking she's a bad kisser. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with a kiss. There's a coach on here who does the generic one fits all approach. One of the generic one that fits all approach. Breakup Brad. Those all get you back with an ex in 30 days. I'm thinking Breakup Brad. All things he said would not work with my ex. She got generic. You are good at this. He's not. Well, thanks. I'm not trying to be better than anyone. I'm just myself. I do the best I can, and I try to help the individual out over just getting your ex back. And I think that shows when I do help people. Yes, it's a snake. Can cause nerve damage. It'll make you legs seize like a fuck, man. Copperhead, huh? I've never heard of that. Why no sympathy? I got sympathy for you. That sucks, man. Where my parents live, they have a lot of rattlesnakes, actually, and supposedly the baby rattlesnakes are pretty bad. The hikes I go on, we have cobras. The snakes run away, though. I see them on this trail all the time. There's a load of them, but they run away pretty quickly because there's so much habitat. Todd, the golden question, what's the story? What happened? Do you think it might be one-itis? And Albert's, what he means by one-itis, Albert, is he means that you believe that there's no other woman that you can ever be with. The reality is you can go out on, it's not Hollywood. When you break up with someone, you start dating again. Just because you're dating again doesn't mean they're going to be good dates. Anticipate bad dates and bad kisses and moments where you're unattracted to someone. That doesn't mean that it's not a good thing, because you're trying and you're putting yourself back out there. And the reality is it just takes one new woman to say, like, wow, she's really cool. Wow, she's different than my ex in a good way. And the reality is when you meet one that doesn't represent all womankind. Helen R, holding on to the wrong people prevents the right people from coming in. That's an understatement. Go for you, Helen. I like your words. Along with personal growth, breakups equals opportunities for self-development. I like to say crisis is an opportunity, which is what I believe Japanese refer to it in that way in their language. Self-development can mean so many things, but I would say that really getting in touch with what you want beyond a relationship. So if the other parts of your life are not lined up, like your job, your finances, your family life, really get in touch. Like, hey, what do I want here? What would be really exciting in my future that I couldn't see without my breakup? I believe Todd's in Texas. I don't know why I always getting confused that he's in the UK or North Carolina. Could be wrong. North Carolina. I had a great coaching session today. Really, really, really good. Getting back to the topic really quick. which we do get off topic. Why won't my ex forgive me? What if you reframe this? Why won't anyone forgive you? Your colleague, your family. Have you ever had this is an interesting way to look at this at the 1 hour mark. We got 19 on deck. I appreciate you all. So instead of looking at it, why won't my ex forgive me? You probably have had a relationship with a colleague or family member where you had a falling out if you're old enough. I think everyone's had this. Maybe I'm wrong. That's not a relationship. I think that when you have a romantic relationship, the intimacy part allows some people to forgive in a moment easier because they want to get some intimacy. But when it's a friend, family, or colleague, have you had a situation where they won't forgive you or you won't forgive them and you guys are no longer talking? I actually consider myself extremely reasonable, a good friend and family member, honest. I think I have good intentions. I believe I have good intentions. And I have had a family member and a close friend over the last 4 or 5 years that we no longer talk. And the situations were things where I'm like, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Now, in the beginning of those situations, being the kind of person I am that I don't like to be overly confrontational, I don't like to fight. I tried to reason with it and even say like, well, I'm sorry for this. But then when I took a couple steps back from it and over time, I'm like, look, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. And looking back, you weren't a very good friend or family member. And for you to accuse me or treat me or say the things you did, that was, you know what? We're better off not talking. But it took time for me to process that and be comfortable with the fact that we don't talk. And that's not me giving up on the relationship or being stubborn. That's me going, you know what? If we sit down and talk, it's going to be like speaking 2 different languages. And I just don't agree. So let's agree to disagree. It's the second time I've been bitten. My dog has also been bitten, cost me $1,800. The cats tried killing it and landed on my foot and dug into me. No, I live in Richmond, Virginia, so I'm gone. Okay. But also North Carolina. Okay. Oh, there you go. Lala's got a friend. Cool. My ex loves me, and I said that you said about the 3 things and 1 missing. She agreed. Hers is trust, though it's not what you think. I not cheated. Didn't hurt her physically. Well, some people just don't trust just because of their past. Some people lack trust in any partner because someone else burned them in the past or their parents got a divorce. So that's not always directly related to your actions. How come women seem stronger after a breakup? You know what? People say this a lot, and it's just not true all the time. Women generally, Albert, women generally, and I don't like to generalize, but generally they have more options right away. So what I mean about that is if a woman goes into work and she works with 20 people, and there's there's Todd Whitmore likes, Susie Johnson, and she's suddenly available. Todd might go, oh shit, Susie's available. Even though she looks a wreck and she's tired and she's sad from a breakup, Todd's like, she's available. Guys will still go in for a date. Whereas if men look weak or wounded, women might console them, but I don't think they're looking at it as an opportunity to get with the guy. So I think women have immediate opportunities after a breakup and they pursue them. People say that women get ready for a breakup more than men. That could be true. It's a waste of time to talk, basically. My ex had trust issues because I texted a girl who was a friend, and that girl set me up and made it seem like I liked her when I never did. I never cheated, by the way. She just got hurt because I texted her. So Victor, I don't know if you agree with this, but a lot of people would call that emotional cheating. And that's up to you. If she feels like you texted a girl and you evaded her, you guys' morals in your group, then that's up to you guys. A girl who was a friend and that girl. So if she doesn't believe you, then you got to say, look, it's up to you what you want to believe and move on. We've been split up 4 years. I told her I can't do friend thing a few weeks back. She continued to talk. So knows we're not doing that way. Good for you. Well, Lala and Todd got a little thing going. Good for you guys. Richmond is the state. South Side is the city. Options, options, options. 3 years down, 3 Ys down. What does that mean? But I texted her the other day and I said, we need to move forward and leave this. She texts back 2 or 3 times. I've not read them yet. Was 3 days ago, I think. Soul Cutter, you just get clear on what you really want. What are you chasing? If you've been split up 4 years, have you been dating other people? I'm honestly still struggling. I want her to contact me. It's natural. It's common. But Frank, I think you know deep down you're doing the right thing. So keep your ass busy. Get yourself exercising a lot. Exhaust yourself physically so that your mind isn't running the show right now. We have work on the South Side right now. I don't know why people complicate their lives by having friends of the opposite sex. Yeah, well, Azam, because your job, I know you talk about this quite honestly and a lot. Your job, like I'm a teacher, I work with women. Okay. I worked retail when I was in college. They're colleagues of mine. So I can absolutely go to lunch and not feel like I have to be attracted to them or make a move on them. The idea that you can't be friends with the opposite sex is a choice. It isn't human nature. And it has to do with common things. Frank, I struggled, but you need to keep silent, mate. Grew up Bon Air, lived in Fan, now in Oregon. She says I ruined that for her as she only thinks of me. So that's good at least. I haven't either. Thank you, Soul Cutter. Yes, I've been working out a lot. Yeah, man, you just got to like working out, exercising, cold showers, ice baths, walks in the fucking nature, sprints, those kinds of things. Getting out of the house, the times you used to talk, it's all part of the process. You're weaning yourself off a relationship here. And it's not about, oh, I hope she calls me up. It's about moving forward. And then that's when you usually get the call. And if you get the call when you're moving forward, it's the best position to be in, by the way. It really is. $20 on deck, ruined relationship for her. Azam, I don't know what that's in regards to, my friend. Mac is the man. Thanks, Frank. Frank is a tank. Frank the tank. Frank, here's the thing, bud. I know the feeling. I've done no contact before, and I didn't even know it was called no con. You know, I did it 10 or 11 years ago in a certain situation, and it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. The feelings you had, these things help you, like exercise and different things like that. It doesn't cure you, but it's absolutely worth it. Moses de der Etchit. What name is that? Der Etchit. I would have to know your story, Moses. So I have no idea why they're so silent. That was for you, coach. Neither of us dated. She says I ruined for her as she only thinks of me. I've only dated either. Okay, what does this girl want? Drag you along? That's a good question, Azam. I lived in the Fan for several years and loved it. Across from. Okay, so you guys are talking about that. I was selling my entire situation through email this week, coach. Victor, how old are you? Did you send I think you sent an email already that just asked me a brief question. Yeah, you just wrote this. I just want to know it's going to be possible for my ex to come back either sooner or the future. Is this you, Victor? Yeah, write your whole story out. Don't waste time, dude. This is you, right? That just wrote this little thing. What is your opinion on taking things at face value? Like she said, I never changed my mind. When I told her, call me if you change your mind. I will not wait for you, but I'm willing to try again. It sounds like both of you need to agree to disagree. And you both, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your attraction? Because it sounds like you guys are on 2 different tracks here. I never changed my mind. Like she said, I never changed my mind. When I told her, call me if you change your mind. I will not wait for you, but I'm willing to try again. People always do this. Call me if you change your mind. I will not wait for you, but I'm willing to try again. Well, I mean, 3 Ys down. Send your full story into Coach Mac McCarthy at gmail.com or writemac.com, and I'll give you my full take. But a lot of people do this thing, "Oh, I never do this, I never do that." Boo-hoo, right? Those are just statements of dramatics. "I never change my mind." That's not even true. Everyone is capable and can change their mind from time to time. I think she blocked me on IG because I've posted having fun with a group of girls, but they're just friends. Yeah, it's very possible. I posted in my story, I feel like I made the situation worse. Hers locked. No, you didn't. The fact that you're doing well and on your own got her attention. So don't worry about it. You should be doing those things. Were you honestly with girls having fun? If you were, then fine. That's how she felt at the moment. Feelings change with time. Salma, thank you. Yeah, three wise down. Never doesn't apply to many things. Yeah, if you were honestly having a good time with some other women, then it's genuine, it's real, and if anything, uh, she didn't like it because she still has feelings for you, and you didn't post it because it was bullshit or you tried to stage an event, then good, fine. When people stage an event or something, I'm like, well, then if it backfires on you, you're gonna feel like shit. But if you're honestly having fun with a group of other women, good for you. You don't need to ignore Soul Cutter or anything like that. You don't need to take my advice. If anyone knows me when I do a coaching session, I never tell you you have to do anything. I like to unpack things. I like to give you options. I like to give you my opinion, but do what you want in the end. I'll still be there for you and give you my take. But, you know, in my next relationship, I won't allow myself to get too attached. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing does last forever. I don't know if it's good for you to feel like you're going to be guarded in getting attached to someone. What you need to do is maybe read some relationship books and be more comfortable. Albert, how old are you? You getting too attached, was that the problem? If that's the case, read the book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. That's a good start. Man, UDG and TLC always got the best takes for people healing from breakups. Man, who's DG and TLC? I don't know who those guys are or women. Your advice is always logical, always makes sense. Thanks, I appreciate that. Dating guy in love chat. Okay, that's good company. Thanks. You need to be vulnerable, otherwise, why are you trying? Vulnerable in what way? Women use that word a lot. It's all situational. It's all any of your breakup stuff. It's always situational based on your own interpretation of the breakup, what went down, and how you want to treat it, and what you want for a result. Interesting, Lala. There's some people that won't admit it, and then they'll be in a live coaching session. They'll be like, honestly, I don't even know if I want to get her back. I just want the option to tell her, yeah, I don't want you back, because they want to win. So, it's people go, I didn't even realize I was thinking that till we did this coaching session. But honestly, yeah, I don't really want her back because she did this, this, and this, or he did this, this, and this. But I want him to come back so I can reject them. That's actually a very common one. And then once someone unlocks that, they kind of go, oh shit, like, what am I chasing here? 32. Albert, did you send in your full story to me before? I feel like your name's familiar. You asked some good questions today. Um, if you haven't sent your story in, three wise, if you haven't sent your story in, um, If you haven't sent your story and send it in, and I'll unpack the story without telling your name tomorrow on the live stream, Albert. If you want to do a live coaching session, we can do that, but that's a paid service. Robert, I haven't read. I've listened to Robert, No More Mr. Nice Guy on Audible. I haven't listened to it for a couple years. What's the one thing you liked about it? He's in a broad sense. I'm not going to get into it. I could pull out my notes, but in a broad sense, he's basically saying that there's a lot of guys that have this issue with being too nice. And it's not just the ultra nice guy, it's the guy that's medium nice too. And some things that stood out is he's giving examples from real relationships where he thought he was doing quote unquote the right thing and being a good guy, and he got burned for it. And he didn't get what he wanted out of the relationship. And he's not an asshole. He's not teaching you to be like a jerk or an asshole. He's actually giving you real life situations that burned him for being too nice. And then he's explaining, his own journey. So I don't know if that's specific enough. There's a lot of things with Robert Glover on YouTube that you can look up. But I just think that's a good starting book because a lot of guys are too nice. And they don't know where it comes from. But I have other books that I would recommend too. When I do a live coaching session, that's my that's my prescription. I'm like, read this book and this book. It's not always the same book. It depends on the person. Because I've done a lot of Audible books more than I've read books, and I usually know ones that'll suit you. Yes, it's certainly situational. Vulnerable wouldn't work with my ex. Getting an ex back is overrated. It is purely validation and proving rejector wrong. Trying to get worth from an ex. All right, folks, I'm going to close out on that note. Azam, you're always appreciated, bro. Soul Cutter, welcome back. It was really great having you on again. Jen, okay, do a one-on-one session with Mac. He can help you unpack your situation, ask questions along the way. It was so worth it. His personal skills are extraordinary. Jen, I really appreciate you, hon. It's been a good one today. We got 20 on deck and 12 likes. I appreciate all of you. And let me just go through it really quick. If you have a few more questions while I'm going through these goodbyes. 3 Wise Down, was good to have you on. I think this is the first time you made an appearance. Frankie, I'm glad you're doing okay. And the fact that you're struggling with no contact, think about it this way. Because you're still in no contact, you didn't break. So that's actually a good thing. The worst thing would be like, hey, man, I did call her up and say, how's she doing? And she didn't respond, and I feel worse than ever. And I should have stayed in no contact. You know how many times people go, yeah, I hit him up, I broke, and then they didn't really respond well. It's like, yeah. So the fact that you're struggling with no contact opposed to as I contacted them and got a negative response, well, it's better to be in no contact struggling. So applaud yourself. Albert, it was good to have you on. Good questions. Todd Whitmore, always a pleasure. Victor, welcome. Go ahead and send that story in, or if you want to do a live coaching. Moses, send your story in and we'll unpack it tomorrow because it's just not enough information. Why is my ex so silent? I have no idea based on a question like that. I need more information. Lala, always a pleasure, hon. Who else do we have on? Rob, you're a little bit quiet, but I'm sure you're still on. Tommy Willis, always a pleasure. Brand new Skinner, in and out. Roller Girl, first on deck. Keisha, I hope you feel better. And I appreciate you as a nurse. Ashley Walker, happy damn birthday. Helen R., thanks for peeking your head in the door and giving some good takes. And do we have anyone else here? Henry Inspires. It was brief, but it was good. Salma, always a pleasure. Double D. Leslie was on for a brief one. Right on. Thanks. Like you that people like us can ask help without bias and sugarcoating. See you in the next one. Till the next time, thank you. Let's make money and strive for greatness. Work the body out. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Curtains.